think the book I Still Believe is fundamentally important to today's discussions. We have a number of high-profile stories in the news or books that we're seeing on the market from Bible scholars and others who have drifted or left the faith as a result of their study, or at least claim that that's partially responsible for leaving the faith, Christian faith. And I've read a number of the accounts. They're moving accounts, they're important accounts, and yet I also feel there's another story to be told. So this story, the story of the book, I Still Believe, and you'll notice the still is in parentheses, is telling a different story. It's telling the story of those scholars who have spent all of their life in Holy Scripture, in the Bible, and their time in Scripture as scholars, not just as people of faith, but as scholars, those who have looked critically at these texts. They've come away with a strong faith. And there is the story of those who leave, but there's also the story of those who have stayed. And these stories are compelling accounts that I think will help the church, and ultimately, at the end of the day, the book is really a book of testimonies. You could say that in this book we believe that testimony still matters. The exciting thing about I Still Believe is what I think is the sort of personal touch, the inside scoop that you get of our authors. So we have big name contributors, Bible professors that many people will recognize, and you get to hear their life story. And in hearing their life story, what I find really interesting is that you feel like at the end of I've read them all. I'm thinking of all of them. I think all of them. You really do come away feeling like you're now a friend of the contributor. You know their story. You know what brought them into the field. You know what makes them tick. And this is the side of our professors that we don't normally get to see, or at least we don't always get to see unless we get to know them personally. So this is a chance for readers to come away with a life story, to come away with a new friend, in a sense, of each of these contributors, whether it's Walter Brueggemann, Alan Davis, or Phyllis Trible, Jimmy Dunn. These are people that I think a lot of people look up to and would like to get to know better, learn what have been their struggles, their joys, the things that have inspired them, how they found fulfillment in their work. But it could be a supplemental text for seminary students in particular, maybe in homiletics, or those who are looking into further study in Bible. I think the book could be really important for young scholars who are getting into the field of academic study of the Bible, or for the first time are struggling with how do we interpret the Bible. And to know that there are other people out there who have done this for 30 years, 40 years, some 50 years, have been studying scriptural texts from a critical perspective, from a Christian perspective, to know that they have done so, have maintained their faith, that this need not be the deal breaker, in a sense. So here we have a book that shares life stories, but also helps our younger generation of scholars, younger generation of pastors wrestle with what does it mean to be a faithful interpreter of Scripture and retain that faith and be a person of faith.